Welcome back, folks, to the Always Watching Media Analysis Podcast. I'm your host, Makai Rieves, and today's topic is the same as every day's topic, how capitalism is causing our collective cerebral deterioration. Now, it wouldn't be fun just listening to me talk to myself for the next 10 minutes, so I thought I'd invite a guest. Julian Hebert is joining me all the way from Howard County, Arkansas.
Hello, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, Julian, as you might know if you've seen our podcast before, almost every day is dedicated to talking about how media image relates to capitalism, and I thought I'd bring that up through this book that I've been reading. Let's pull it up right now. The Dream World is written by Oliver Herwig, however you may pronounce the name, and Florian, this name is even worse, Holzer. This book has been really interesting, and it has had me ranting about capitalism for the past a few days, or a few weeks, really. And it's specifically this chapter that I've been stuck on, Theming a World. It's essentially, how about I just read you a paragraph, and I'll see what you think about it.
That works for me.
All right, let's get started. This is one of the first paragraphs in the chapter. Theming has been astonishingly successful. Nowadays, whole departments of marketing specialists, sociologists, and town planners devote their entire energies to adapting displays, rooms, buildings, and recently, even whole towns to highlight the single aspect that is to optimize their competitiveness in the battle for that scarce resource, attention. However, divisive ideas, slogans, and fashions, the strategies are always much the same. Any place can be presented in any especially memorable and unmistakable manner as an experience, and at the same time it can convey a sense of protection and security, which culminates in an ethos of repetition. Department store chains, brand names, labels. While branding gives major companies a self-contained visual and schematic frame of reference, theming translates this practice into rooms, buildings, streets, and whole landscapes. Essentially, capitalism is seeping from economic concept into the real world, and that terrifies me. You see it everywhere. In this chapter alone, it uses the example Legoland, which is actually being shut down, as I've heard. I'm pretty sure it's in Pennsylvania, correct?
I believe that's correct.
Not just Legoland, Disney World, even Temple University. And they're all united by one brand name, and it's kind of scary. So what do you think about that?
I think the most terrifying part of it is how invisible it truly is. We are biologically the same creatures that walked the earth 20,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, just hunting and gathering and trying to pass our genes on to the next generation. And as a result of that, we've evolved certain neurochemical responses to certain stimuli. These responses are being unconsciously hijacked by these marketing companies and by this theming in order to get you to buy a product. And because they're unconscious, brain chemical reactions, you don't quite realize when it's happening. And I do think that is quite a hard opponent to fight against. How do you battle an invisible enemy that's triggering your synapses in ways you don't quite understand?
I want to go back to what you said about an invisible enemy combating your synapses. I wanted to know if you've ever heard about smellizer.
I have not. Please enlighten me.
I have probably ranted about this a few times before, folks, but here we go again. So Disney World, the Imagineers, I really hate that name, have this device called a smellizer. It's hidden around the parks, all over the parks. It's essentially this, what do I call it? It's like an aerosol spray, a big hidden aerosol spray that sprays these certain scents out throughout the park. And there's a strategy behind it. You can hide them around the park, and they give off these specific scents that create this sense of nostalgia, of tradition. at the, what is it, the town square, that stupid place, I don't know. And there, it's like, it smells like homemade cookies, something that makes you feel at home, makes you feel safe. And at the, I don't know, whatever the restaurants have, the pretzel booths, the cookie places, they smell like, they give off these aromas of pretzels, cookies, whatever they're selling. It's essentially monetizing off of your sense of smell, and it's completely ridiculous. It's what makes me hate Disney World in the first place. It's like one of the biggest examples there is of theming a world. They created an entire monopoly. They monopolized the entertainment industry off of a theme park, off of a cartoon series, and it's insane, and it's kind of impressive if it wasn't so horrifying. So,
I think, firstly, this is really indicative of literally an invisible enemy. It is like I said, the co-option of a natural impulse of nostalgia and safety that likely evolved to, I'm not a biologist, so this is speculation, but it evolved for a purpose, that is a fact, and it likely evolved for some purpose of safety or community building or familial security. And now it is redirected into the shops. I also think it's a little bit spiritually sad that nothing is sacred. There's no realm that capitalism will not exploit for its own profit-driven purposes.
exactly. If you look back at your own memories, if your own experiences since you were a child, we're roughly the same age, around 2005, 2004, 2006, whatever. But our entire lives, it's been capitalism just like subtly seeping its way, not into just our lives, into what we buy, our experiences as human beings, our traditions, our values. The Santa Claus that we know was created by the Coca-Cola Company. I didn't know that until about a year ago. This Saint Nick has existed for, I'm not sure, maybe a few centuries before that. But Santa Claus, like the big red suit, the red hat, everything, reindeer, the elves, that was all Coca-Cola. It's ridiculous.
The wedding ring as well is another example of one of the most successful marketing campaigns in history. This was not a organically spawned cultural practice. The wedding ring was created by diamond companies with their artificial scarcity and their whole 3 months salary.
That's completely ridiculous. It's as if capitalism is, I know that essentially human beings are the driving force of capitalism, but it's so intrinsic that it finds it's a part of our reality. It's a part of our, like I said, it's a part of our experience as a human being. It's profits off of nostalgia, just as the smellizers would profit off of our senses. It creates morals. It creates traditions like the wedding ring. It creates experiences like Disney World.
It is the water we swim in, and the fish do not realize they are wet. I think another good example of this is the digital aesthetics that were being seen created in the TikTok era of cottagecore, of clean girl, of
the reintroduction of like 1950s wear instead of streetwear.
Yes, old money and new money. You're creating you're creating these packages of aesthetics and all of the connotated ideas about like what someone with that aesthetic is like or has, and then that becomes a very, very effective foundation to then sell products off of to appeal to people's urge to belong to a group.
Well, this has been a very harrowing talk, if I'm being honest, Julian.
Awareness is the best medicine for this.
It really is, and from what I've seen, it's up to from what I've seen, we're becoming more and more aware of it by the day. Hopefully, we can pass on what we've learned to our children, to our children's children, to make a better place. But I just don't see how capitalism will ever be able to fully rid ourselves of the beast known as capitalism. But that is all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, Julian. And we'll see you all next time on Always Watching. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for having me.